Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Behind me today is an unknown computer. What happened was I picked it up off Facebook Marketplace. Somebody was getting rid of their computer desk, and I seen that on the bottom right of the picture they had a computer sitting there. I just asked them, hey, are you getting rid of the computer too, or hey, what are you doing with this computer? They really wanted to get rid of the desk, so I said, hey, I'll pick up the desk as long as I can take the computer as well. The person was very adamant that the computer was broken. The tower was broken. She said it didn't work. Like, she was really wondering why I wanted it, which was pretty funny. So today I'm going to be trying to figure out why that person said it didn't work, see if I could fix it, see if I have to replace a couple components in it, and see if I can get it working again. What I did notice, if you can see by some of the pictures, is the power supply was chock block full of dust. It was just an immense amount of dust on there. So I'm assuming that it was an overheating issue. But also what was kind of weird is in this power supply, there's only it's an only 4-pin connector to the CPU, where this motherboard has 8-pin connector. So maybe this card was able for overclocking, because I noticed the clip is only on one section. So maybe you could get by with just 4-pin connector, but I'm going to figure out what was going on. Some funny things that I noticed was that 2 of the RAM sticks were zap strapped on. So I guess the clip stopped working and they needed to get it stable, so they zap strapped it. This is one of the coolest looking RAM sticks I've ever seen, so I'm gonna guess it's pretty high end at the time. For the graphics card, there was an NVIDIA Quadro FX 1800. Yeah, so it was pretty dusty, and they didn't have any of the DVI screw-ons. Typically those stick with the DVI cords when you pull it out, so kind of funny. Also for our hard drive, they had 160 gigabytes for their hard drive. I'm gonna see if I can get the boot drive to come off of here, see what they had on it, if it's gonna boot up for me, because I want to test powering it up with their own components first. So let's dive in. I really want to dive into this CPU cooler because it is full of dust, just caked on. So I want to get into that, but right now my blower is on low battery because I've been using it so much. So I'm going to start off with cleaning this off the graphics card, doing a little bit of thermal paste repasting, and we'll see how that goes. My spouse gave me this bit kit for, I believe it was Christmas. What an absolute godsend. So this kit has been saving my ass. This kit has been saving so much time and energy. I got an affiliate link in the bio. So just because I never dealt with this before, I'm going to try to keep the orientation of these screws. Put this on here. Quite an interesting pattern on the bolts. This card is from PNY. I've actually never dealt with any of these NVIDIA Quattros, so I'm pretty curious to see what it can do. It had a DVI output, so I'm guessing it's really good for productivity. On the specific card, I haven't looked up any of the specifics, but I guess for future videos I can do that before I start disassembling the card. Get some info on it. This is my first long form video about dealing with computers. I'm not really sure what the goal of these videos is going to be, other than just to entertain myself and keep myself busy. The heatsink fell immediately off. That's awesome. Thermal pads don't really look like pads, to be honest. They look like a little bit of... No, they're supposed to be putty. But here's the board. I'm going to get that thermal paste off of there, and a little bit of dust from the fan. This is where the fans go, which is so bizarre. I guess that makes sense. Just looking at the board, it looks very good. It looks in good shape. I'm not a GPU specialist, but it looks very clean. So I don't think it was because of the GPU why this computer supposedly died, supposedly was broken, but everything is caked in dust, so getting rid of that is going to be my #1 priority. Couple tiny screws on the side here for the heatsink. Pretty sure this is all aluminum. It feels very lightweight. You can kind of see me fumbling around with it. It is light. A little bit of copper for the GPU itself. Obviously I'm trying not to block the camera with my arm, but I'm new at this. There you go, NVIDIA Quattro, pretty cool. Alright, so that's 6 screws from the side, and you pop right off. Here's the fins. There's a bit of dust on there. Not too bad. Not too bad, pretty cool. These are the pads. These pads have seen better days. I'm going to keep them just because I don't have any of that material to use. Flimsiest piece of aluminum. Very thin. I'm going to give this a spray down. And I don't feel like I'm going to have to do that much cleaning on this card, to be honest with you. It looks very nice. The heat sinks, you know, maybe a little bit of deep cleaning. Obviously I got 99% isopropyl alcohol here to clean up the old thermal paste. Comes off from the breeze. See a nice NVIDIA marking on there. It's a good touch. I like that. To my untrained eye, this GPU looks good shape. Container. Where's my container for? alcohol. Use this bad boy. Just a wet. So the joys of Facebook Marketplace hunting. I would have never thought to message people selling furniture, trying to get rid of their furniture if they have any PC parts. Like that was, I don't know, it just, some people obviously say immediately like, no, I'm not giving away the computer, or it's just for the desk, you know. Like some people get a little bit aggressive about it. Personally, it's like, why not send a message? There's no harm, right? There's definitely no harm to me. I send messages every day. Trying to buy this, trying to buy that. But it's kind of funny. You're trying to get rid of your furniture, and some guy is trying to hit you up for your computers. And that's kind of like the most profit I've ever got flipping PCs or selling PCs is obviously just people trying to get rid of their stuff for free, and they don't even know what's inside of it. I mean, I don't even know what's inside of this thing still. I'm still working on it. Alright, so there was a lot of thermal paste on that pad, but the chip is very small. So I'm hesitant to put too little on. So I think I'm just going to do the chip. Just gonna do the chip, and that's it. Not gonna worry too much else. Like I said, thermal pads I'm gonna keep the same. I'm gonna screw this back on here. Make sure that's on right. Obviously that's not right, so flip that bad boy over again. It's in need of a little paint touch-up, but I think that's going to be alright. The joys of assembling and disassembling. I'm missing a screw already. I did get a magnetic pad, so probably should have been using that instead of a little graphics card styrofoam. So yeah, trying to find a lost screw, unable to find it immediately, so I'm just gonna skip on classic disassembly, reassembly, losing screws. I'm gonna power along anyways. Just trying to remember where this went, and that the fans were covering the pads. Just like that. And we're gonna screw on in. The bolts all look the same. Take them off as I came, as I'm gonna put them back in as I took them out. Just noticing a little bit of crud that I left. If anyone's actually watching this and willing to comment, I'm just kind of curious of where you're getting your graphics cards. Are you getting mostly AMD cards? Are you getting mostly NVIDIA cards? Because I've been noticing that I have an NVIDIA card here, or I'm sorry, an AMD card here for a long time that hasn't been selling, and it's actually a pretty good card. It's a 5600, and just seems like no one wants to buy it inside of a PC, of course. I'm selling a lot of NVIDIA cards like this the 2060s. I got a lot of 1080s that I've sold, 1650s. But yeah, this is the NVIDIA Quattro FX 1800. NVIDIA Quattro FX 1800. Completely assembled, reassembled. Missing one screw, of course. Which, very odd. Very odd. Of course, I lost it, and I don't know where it went. So I'm going to move on. My little bit of odds and ends here. Just trying to take a look through. See if you see what I'm looking for here. There we go. Thankfully I got some left over from the last card that it was not working. Decommissioned. Here we go. Perfect. Brand new. These two little bolts hold the back plate on, or whatever plate bracket you want to call that. Alright, now onto the CPU and the CPU cooler. I'm actually hesitant to touch the RAM sticks just because the state that they're in with the little zap straps. I kind of want a screwdriver to deal with this. I always, you know, hurt my little hands. I'm wondering, yeah, okay. The arrow is to undo. Follow the arrow to undo. That's interesting. Lifting the tabs up. I don't know if you saw how much dirt that, or dust that I got off of that thing, but there's zero thermal paste on the cooler. Actually not a bad looking stock cooler, to be honest with you. It is, however, caked. Well, not anymore at least. But that's not a bad looking stock cooler, to be honest. I'm just going to use the same pads, same cotton pads. Thermal paste off of this CPU. I'm going to try to leave everything else intact. The board doesn't look bad. Like after cleaning it, it looks pretty shiny. Like, looks not bad. But I'm gonna wait for this CPU to dry. It looks good. It's just this zap strap business, janky. Alright, thermal pad, cotton pad, dry this up, and let's get some thermal paste onto that CPU. I'm going to put a generous amount, just because there was like zero thermal paste on the CPU cooler itself. I'd say that's still not enough. Oops, knocked you there. I need some thermal paste application techniques. Drop those in the comment section below. But no, I think that's looking pretty good. I also got this thermal grease HY 700 from Amazon as well. I'm chugging through it, chugging away through it. Affiliate link down in the bio. Help your fellow computer tinkerer out here. So I'm just going to put this bad boy right back on. So should just push it down. I'm not an expert with these stock coolers. Go on, it should push in, a little sketch because you need a little force, but it's just a motherboard. Alright, oop, I'm seeing a lot of plastic come out. Okay, just a little bit of force. It's only a motherboard, it's only a computer, right? It's a little too much force for my liking. Yeah, so that did not go to plan. That's a lot of breakage. It's a lot of broken components, so rendering this stock cooler dead. I'm going to keep it on just so that I can fire it up, but that was a do not do this at home kind of deal. That's a lot of thermal contact, so I'm just going to put this in for now. Get the RAM on for now. Put my graphics card back in. I'm going to get a box. Put this bad boy in a box. Get some elevation on that GPU. I'm going to put this exact same power supply on. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to reassemble. Got the GPU on. CPU cooler can just barely stay on. Not too worried about that at this point. I got the 4-pin CPU cooler going in one half. So that might be the issue right there. And just not getting enough power, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? You and I both at the same time. Gonna experience this together. Get my arms out of the way here for you. Motherboard power getting in. CPU, none of that. I got the hard drive, gonna plug that into this SATA peripheral. Where are my SATA cables? SATA cable going in from the hard drive to the motherboard on the other end. Alright, power supply, CPU, GPU, RAM, should all be good to go. Alright, I'm going to plug in the DVI connector that I got here with the newly acquired GPU screw-ons. I need a power supply for my power supply. A funny thing with this computer flipping or computer buying or computer snagging, deal snagging. It's funny, people don't give computers with power supply cables. Every computer that I bought or power supply that I bought, I don't get the cable. And so obviously that leaves me to have to source cables for other people. Let's get the power button. Hopefully. Actually, I haven't used this before. This jumper before. It seems like it should work, but you know what? I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Okay. Nothing. I don't really like that screwdriver though, so let's try this one. Power LED. Power button. Power supply was on. There is a light indicating it should go on. Reset button. That's not very good. That's not a very good indicator. So, got your power LED, HD LED, And your power button should be the first two. But I get nothing. Power indicates it's on. I should get a buzzer. Power switch reset. So this says F panel power button. This says panel reset power switch. Power switch is not power switching. Okay, flicking on power to the power supply. It's plugged in. I'm getting an LED indicator, but the power button is not powering up. Okay, let's try power supplies. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be the power supply. Lights indicating. I actually have no fans other than a CPU fan. So let's try that. Let's get me a chassis fan going. No diag lights anywhere. And this is Seuss board. Oh, actually, I'm getting a PCI light. So there's a little red dot back there. PCI, but nothing spun up. Absolutely nothing spun up. So let's just do the old reset CMOS. Power supply flicked off. Battery pried out. Power LED just went out. I'm gonna give it the old 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. CMOS back in. No power. Flicking on power. There you go, the light showed up. And if this says power, this should be power. Nothing. Wow. Actually don't think it's I don't suspect it's a power supply issue, but that's actually the first thing I'm gonna actually try. I got this EVGA 550 G2, which I am going to try just, the 8-pin connector. If your CPU can take an 8-pin connector, you should be putting an 8-pin connector in it. So that's seated in properly. Okay, I mean, CPU cooler not really on, and plus it is not the best kind. That was kind of it. Motherboard, CPU, I need some sort of power going to my hard drive here. And power to the power supply. It's currently off. Plugged it in. Powered on. Power LED went on immediately. And I'm checking the power button. I'm going to use this one because I know it's tried and true. And that's it. I got it spinning. I got fans going. And do I have a display? I've never used this monitor before. So, what is required to get this thing going? Come on, give me a display here. No signal. No diag lights. Okay, well. Is it just thinking? is it just thinking about booting? I mean, if it hasn't shut down already on its own, can't be bad. Obviously, the CPU cooler not being seated is not optimal, but everything seems fine. Just no display. So I'm going to get a new display cable pretty soon. Maybe it is the monitor. Don't want to rule that out. Oh, case shut down on its own. Not a good sign. Let's see if it will do it. Okay, well, boots up. Let's try to get this monitor going. This monitor was free, so I wonder why. No signal, but on what display? Ow. Okay, so it's cycling on and off. It's constant power. Could this graphics card be kaput? Let's power off. Power off. I'm gonna hit the jumper lots of times. Okay. I'm gonna take this Quattro out of here. Try to keep the pin on the graphics card, but that's not happening. Okay, I'm gonna CMOS. Take the CMOS out. I'm gonna put in a known working graphics card, the good old 580. Tried, true, and tested. Oops. Plug in battery again. 580. Power this bad boy up. Okay, get some power to the board. And let's jumper. See what goes on. Still nothing on the display side, it's still idle. I mean, there is contact here with the CPU cooler. Oh, actually there isn't. Okay, that CPU is actually very hot. So, what are we going to do here? Since I already broke it. Here I am overheating the crap out of the CPU. But why isn't it posting? Oh, well, I have no display in right now, so that's also an issue. But instantly power down. No signal. So that's kind of good. Oh, we got a reboot without me doing anything. That's a positive sign. Pretty sure that's positive. Okay, we got some power cycling going on. Interesting. Do I let it do its thing? Alright, let's try without a hard drive. Still nothing. So now is it faulty RAM? Okay, let's try RAM. So I swapped out the RAM kits. DDR2, some Kingston. There we go, we got a boot. So, kind of a mixed bag of issues here. One, power supply was not able to power the board. It only had one CPU connector. Then, the RAM sticks, which were a mixture of RAM, Kingston, I should have kept it in the order that they were in. Kingston, whatever this is, OCZ, 1 gigabyte. Oh, it's a DDR2 RAM. So now I'm getting into the boot screen. So I'm gonna power down now. Put this on the tripod again. This is kind of funny. So I'm gonna power down. There we go. I'm going to plug back in the hard drive. I'm tempted to use the Quadro again. So, hard drive is back in. I'm going to try to boot up here. Oopsies. I don't have a keyboard and mouse here with me, but I want to see if this thing boots to Windows. Detect drives, no drives found. So No keyboard detected, no... nothing. So no boot drive on this thing. Okay, cool. Let's power down again. I'm gonna shut the power supply off. Pull out my graphics card. This is a 580. Purchased from Richmond. You can kind of make your own conclusions what this graphics card was used for before it got to my possession. But that could be for another video. I am going to put this Quadro back in after I reseat the CMOS. So let's knock that out for 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Put that bad boy back in. Since that's not a working hard drive, nothing on it. Lucky for them. I'm going to locate my SSD, which should have Windows on it. And now let's power up the power supply. Give this a go. Uh-oh. CPU didn't like that. Oh, but there's also connectors stuck on it. Rookie mistake. I'm gonna just reset just in case. Try again. Oh, again, like a dummy. Here we go, for the 8th time. We have a display. Detect drivers. It didn't detect anything. Interesting. Is it... my cable's not in properly? I hate the SATA cable. But that is almost it. Let me try this power supply again. Alright, that's all you should need. All you should need. Let's actually power up this power supply. I'm going to keep it off for now. Okay, CPU, motherboard, no graphics card, power it on. Power LED shows up. Jumper, nothing. Reseat everything, make sure it's in. Jumper, nothing. I don't understand this power supply. It's on, lights on. Why was a 4-pin CPU added? They have a 6-pin PCI, 4-pin CPU. Doesn't make any sense to me, man. But that's no boot. That's no boot. This is how it came. This is how it was given to them. That's bizarre. Because that's how it came, other than faulty RAM sticks, but I don't even know if it's faulty RAM sticks. It just didn't. Like, that's just no boot. Wow. Well, that's kind of diag done. I can test each one of these RAM sticks, but these are like 1 gigabyte DDR2s, so why would I even bother? I guess salvage value. I don't even know what this, what kind of size this is, but you know, just swap out the faulty power that's not powering your device, and there you go. That's a fixed machine. So, determined fix of the PC was that it was a faulty RAM stick. I'm getting posts with 3 of the RAM. Just a little bit of bizarre issues. So I don't know why there was a 4-pin CPU connector on a 8-pin motherboard, but using that power supply, I couldn't get a boot. I couldn't get any fans to spin up. When I used a 550 EVGA power supply with an 8-pin connector, it was working fine. I pulled it out of the box like that, so I don't know if someone was doing mods or someone switched out some components, but everything was caked in dust, so I don't see how it happened to begin with, but I'm gonna chalk it up to faulty power supply. It overheated. It blew some components maybe when it was on, but one of the RAM sticks is kaputs. Anyways, I'm gonna try to load some Windows, see what's in this thing, and get back to you. Alright, let's try this out. Booting to the USB, see if I can load some Windows 11 on a wow. Okay. No HDD, sir, but it is a SSD. Ooh. Oh my God. Let's try that again. It didn't like the last hard drive that I had in there. But I actually have a hard drive with Windows on it. An actual HDD. I got this bad boy. So let's see what's gonna happen. You're fine. Oh. Oh my God.